Bayhackle Sports presents the Delano Little Show.
Welcome to the Delano Little Show on BayhackleSports.com. We have with us today Cherie Swarthout with Queens University. You are the athletic director. You've been there at Queens for a long time, but you became athletic director just recently, 2016, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And only the third athletic director in the history. That's quite amazing. How you been doing?
Well, I'm doing great. And thank you for having me here today, for sure. I'm only the third. Dale Layer, of course, started it with the intercollegiate co-ed athletics back in the late 80s.
New Deal, very good. He was a great guy, wasn't he?
Fantastic.
Yes.
And still very well connected to Queens. So very appreciate all of his support. And then Jeannie King was in that role for many, many years and did some really great things. And then, yes, since 2016. So starting my 7th year. Okay.
And we've had you at your university on the show before.
Yeah.
We had Jeff Dugdale, head swimming coach, because of major accomplishments, 7 straight national championships on the women's side, 7 on the men's side. Just unbelievable what they've done there with that program. And what you've done with all the programs. So that was in Division II. Now you moved to Division I, and then you're in the Atlantic Sun. Why make that move when you were dominating and doing so well in Division II? Why was the move necessary?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. We've certainly had a lot of success in the last 30-plus years at Queens, and you remark about the swimming program, but we've had success across many of our programs. Probably the last 6 or 7 years finishing in the top 10 of the Learfield Cup. And that's based on how many teams go postseason. So you're smart to ask that question and why now? We feel it's an opportunity not just for athletics. This is really about the university. It's a university move. And our goal is to really amplify not only what we do at Queens, but what's happening in Charlotte. So the move to the ASUN takes us to different media markets. It gets us in spaces and places where we can share who Queens is. And really just broaden our brand and broaden our scope of influence.
A record number of universities, and there's 14, correct?
Yeah.
How do you stack up with that? And tell us a little bit about the Atlantic Sun for people that may not know, and also the fact that you're the only school in North Carolina from that, right?
That's right. We are the only school in North Carolina. But, there's another transitioning school that is, in the middle of their 4-year transition into Division I, and that's Bellarmine University out of Louisville. North Alabama just finished theirs, so they are now a full member in Division I. But the ASUN is a very competitive conference. It's a very diverse conference. It takes us all across the country in a variety of different ways. And so it was a smart move for us to be able to join them. We were very fortunate that we were granted an opportunity because they have to issue an invitation. That's part of the transition. And so, again, very fortunate to be able to join them. Very, very competitive, high-level conference. And we're excited about the opportunity.
The only thing missing is football, I would imagine, but you got everything else pretty much, right?
We got everything else. That's right. We have 26 NCAA sports, a healthy group of club sports, which rounds out our portfolio of about 32 sports, 650 student athletes. And that's correct. We don't have football, and we don't have an intention right now of adding that. We've done those feasibility studies. So our portfolio is our portfolio, and it gives us a strong presence in the ASUN.
I know you got a great staff. You want to speak to them about how many different, you said 26, yeah. So you got a lot of staff, right?
We got a lot of folks, that's right. I believe that our success is really driven by our head coaching staff and the folks that they surround themselves with, and it's obviously the student athletes that they recruit. And so, we've got outstanding leadership across the board. And, we're going to have our new head men's basketball coach, Leonard, here in a little bit, and just an outstanding individual. And he's representative of all of our head coaches and our entire coaching staff. Yeah, in the past, you've done so well. Basketball was one of the sports, and you've gone to the Elite Eight a couple of times. And, a few times.
As far as sports is concerned, which ones are doing very, very well, and which ones need to come up? Yeah, it's a good question, and I think we're going to learn a lot this first year. And
our sports historically have done very, very well on the national level, and that's indicative of the Learfield Cup and the top 10 finishes in the last 5. But, basketball, as you mentioned, men's basketball has done very well. Our swimming programs, they've had a little bit of success, with those national championship teams. Our women's lacrosse team, 3 straight Final Fours. But we regularly send, the tennis programs, the volleyball program, cross-country track and field, postseason, into the NCAAs. So I think we'll stack up quite well with our transition, but, we're going to learn a lot.
Yes, and we talk about athletics, but the thing that sticks out to me, and I did a little reading up on the program last night, was your scholastic achievements. I mean, just amazing. The grade point averages that these student athletes keep putting out. How do you, is there a philosophy, or how does that all play out?
Yeah, thank you for asking, and we're very proud of our academic success. And the coaching staff will tell you that I very seldom talk about wins and losses, but I do talk about what we're doing in the classroom and how we're showing up, because that's what we're there for. We've got outstanding faculty at Queens, great student athletes, and you put those two together and it's a winning combination. But we have put a lot of, I would say, acknowledgement around our academic success, and I believe that you can do both well. So I don't think you have to compromise academics for athletics. You can have high-level success athletically and academically, and we push very, very hard on both of those fronts. And our coaching staff is completely bought in. It's very competitive at the top. We have, I think, 13 or 14 programs that cumulatively are over a 3.5, vying for that top spot. And then that trickles down to our student athletes, and they really embrace the opportunity to leverage what we have at Queens.
I've talked to Judy Rose, who's been on the Delano Little Show, former Charlotte 49ers athletic director, a good friend of mine, and she's always said that people that are looking to come up and be an athletic director, it's a great job, but it's not as easy as you think. There's so much going on, and you're also a fundraiser too, right? You're doing all that, and people just think you go and watch games. Oh, that'd be cool to watch games. It's much more than that, right?
Absolutely, certainly. I wish I got to watch more games, to be honest, because there's so many different things that pull you in a variety of directions. But yeah, fundraising, managing people, managing all the different entities that we have that come up through athletics. It's all. It is a lot of different aspects. No 2 days are the same, but that's what makes it fun, and it really, at the end of the day, it's all about the people. So you mentioned fundraising, and we've always had a tremendous amount of support, not just within the Queens community, but within the Charlotte community. And, that's been amplified recently, yesterday, with an announcement with the $2 million worth of gifts to support the Division I transition. So a lot of support on that front. But yes, it is a multifaceted job.
What do you do to relax? I mean, because it seems like you're on the go all the time. I mean, do you get a chance to relax and do some things? Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from a very small town called Climax, Michigan.
Okay.
So originally from there, I've been in Charlotte since 2003.
Okay.
Yes, I'm practicing sitting still. That's what I do. I'm constantly on the move. So I enjoy going for walks up in the mountains. I enjoy that quiet time and that quiet space. But yes, there's always something to do.
All right, well, Cherie, we're going to have you come back a little bit later with your head basketball coach. And we got a student athlete. We talked about the student athletes and how good they're doing in school. We got a student athlete coming up from Queens University. Stay with us here on the Delano Little Show on BayHackleSports.com. Welcome back to the Delano Little Show on BayHackleSports.com. We're talking Queens University, all things Queens University, making the jump from Division II to Division I. And we have Kenny Dye with us, star basketball player for Queens University. Good to have you with us. Good to have you.
Nice being here. I'm excited to be here and grateful for it.
I love that last name. It's a sportscaster's dream. I mean, I can just hear, Dye for three. That just sounds good. Or, Dye is killing it from three-point land.
Yes, sir.
You get that one? To see.
One of my favorite things is going back and watching the film because our sportscasters and stuff, they say my name all the time. I just like hearing that ring.
See, I like that. All right, point guard.
Yes, point guard.
And you and I have a little bit in common because we're both military brats, if you will. Your father's in the Navy.
Yes, sir.
And still in the Navy.
Yes, sir. Been in the Navy ever since I was a kid. Been in for 20 plus years, and it's honestly him being in the military helped me with my leadership on the court. So just helping me be a respectful young man and being a leader on the court and off the court.
So did you grow up playing basketball? Was that your thing? Did you grow up playing any other sports, or was it just basketball?
I did basketball, soccer. I ran track. I tried baseball, but it was a little too slow for me.
Yeah.
But, soccer and basketball was my two main sports, and until I got to high school, that's when I stopped soccer and just took off with basketball.
Okay. And so, what's your philosophy if you had one as a point guard? And point guards are the leaders in basketball. So that's obviously a statement for who you are. What's your kind of style of play in basketball? What do you like to do?
I'm a conservative guy. I might not speak the loudest or talk the loudest, but I kind of lead by action. One of the things my coach has been trying to get me to do is speak louder and talk to guys and bring them along with me. But I like to just bring guys along and keep their confidence up, make them feel good about themselves, about their game, and then also show them how things are supposed to be done by how I'm supposed to do it, and so they can watch me and go based off of me, and then that'll give them confidence to play better.
Gotcha. Now, you were redshirted, so to speak, or if you will, with the pandemic in fifth year.
Yes, sir.
What have you seen the program do from when you first got there to where you are now? How has it changed? And I know you're obviously getting ready to go into the Atlantic Sun, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But how have you seen the program change, and how have you changed with it?
It definitely changed a lot. The whole program has changed from expanding social media-wise. I've changed a lot as well, just becoming more vocal, getting my face out there more, being around campus, showing my face. But it's definitely changed a lot, and I think it's for the better. Queens has a lot of talent in all sports. All the athletes feel like we could have been D1 possibly in the past, and I think we're just trying to get our name out there and show what we can do.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to get a chance now, right? Yeah. D1 at Atlantic Sun, any particular teams? I know there's 13 different teams besides you guys. Any teams that stick out to you that you've been chomping at the bits to get to? Or
me personally, just looking at our schedule, I've been looking forward to going to Florida Gulf Coast, going to Jacksonville. I know our non-conference, we got Nebraska on the schedule. Just those big games. I like the big moments, having the crowd come at us, talking smack to us. So those big games I look forward to just because it challenges you and it brings the best out of you.
I'm gonna give you a chance to say some good things about your teammates. Let's go with that first.
Okay.
what are you guys packing, if you will, over there? What do you guys got going on?
We got some special guys, some talented dudes. BJ, you guys will see him. Real talented dude in the mid post. He's a good post player. He's another guy like me, leads by example, might not talk too much. Another guy, one of my favorite guys on the team, Gavin Raines. He's just a warrior down there. He's gonna bang bodies, get rebounds. He's never gonna complain through injury. He's gonna play through injury. He's gonna show you what a warrior is. AJ McKee, he's a little different. He's gonna chirp your head off. He's gonna get into your face, but he's also gonna do what he's supposed to do offensively and defensively. But we got some young guys, Caleb Matthews, they're on the come up. We're gonna have a breakout year. So I think we just got a good group of guys that is ready to show what we can do.
Well, you've been successful in the past. I mean, you guys have had some really good teams, and the whole philosophy of moving up to the Atlantic Sun or moving to Division I, are the guys talking about that? Are you guys chirping about that? How you feel moving from Division II to Division I? What's that like to you guys?
We're calm and collected about it. We don't talk about it too much, but we know what we have to do. We're handling business. I know in the preseason polls, they got us ranked 14th. So we're looking at that as motivation to, show we can be better than that.
14 out of 14 teams.
14 out of 14.
That's disrespectful.
It's a little disrespectful, but, we understand it. We understand why they did it. And now it's our job to go out there and show that we could be higher than that. So
that's a great motivating factor for you guys. All right, I'm going to give you a chance because he's actually in the room. He's going to be joining us here in a second. Your coach, how's that all worked out?
It's working out well. We didn't want anybody else at that head coaching job because we knew that he had the tools to continue to be successful in this program. So once our former coach left, we already knew who we wanted to take over that role. And so far, he's done a great job. Over the summer, we had a good summer. Everybody got better skill-wise, offensively, defensively, and we're ready to put it all together and see what we can do.
Kenny Dye for 3. Well, we appreciate you coming out and talking with us, man.
Yes, sir.
And we look forward to watching you on the court and seeing what you can do.
Thank you.
We're going to talk to your head coach coming up right after this on the Delano Little Show, BayHackleSports.com. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Delano Little Show on BayHackleSports.com. And joining us now at the table is head basketball coach at Queens University, Grant Leonard. It's a pleasure to have you here. Of course, Cherie Swarthout, of course, the athletic director. We've already talked to you, but want to bring you guys together just to kind of get a joint thing of where we are with this whole Atlantic Sun thing and moving forward. And Coach, you've been coaching over there for quite some time now, the last couple of years. And you guys have put together a great program, and now you throw you into the Atlantic Sun, right? Yeah. How do you react to that? How did you, when you guys figured out you were going to go there, what was your plan as a basketball coach?
First, just excited for a new challenge, and we're really looking forward to the partnerships that the ASUN brings us. But then transitioning to Division I, we're not looking at it any different. We're a very process-oriented team. We're going to try and win today. We're going to work really hard. We're going to wake up. We're going to work as hard as we can today, try and get better in all facets of life, basketball, being a person, helping in the community as a student. And we're going to lay our head down and we're going to try and do it again the next day and stack good days on good days on good days. And that process has brought us into a championship mindset, and that's where we're going to stay.
You know what? You talk a lot like Jeff Dugdale does his swimming coach. I mean, is that embedded in all your coaches? Is that a philosophy that everybody kind of adheres to?
Well, we definitely have some elite level coaches. And while their philosophies may differ, the foundation and the values are very, very consistent across the department, yes.
Kenny Dye. I mean, we just talked with him, just a great fella, great young kid. You can tell he's a leader. Your opinion of Kenny Dye?
First of all, my smile couldn't get any bigger when you talk about Kenny. He's a coach's dream. He's everything you want your program to be about. He lives every day like he's trying to be a champion. He's so focused. He's driven towards not just being a great player himself, but team-orientated. And Kenny's been a great player for us. He started as a freshman. It was a smaller role, but we were 31-5 and went to the Elite Eight that year. And we've had multiple 31 seasons with him, and now he's our premier player. But you'll never know it by seeing he comes to work every day, and he's always the hardest worker. Yeah, that's why our team wins, is because players like Kenny Dye.
Well, he mentioned that, when Bart Lundy left, who had been with the program for quite a while, and they said they didn't want anybody else to step in. They knew that they needed you as the head coach. Your relationship to them, your relationship to Coach Lundy, and any philosophies that he had, did you adopt them all, or do you have your own style as well?
I mean, Coach Lundy has been a tremendous mentor to me, helped prepare me for this next step in my career. But, a lot of the things are going to look the same. But I always say this, the ingredients are going to stay the same. The recipe might change just a little. So I'll have my own twist on it. But our foundation and what we're trying to do as a team, offensively and defensively, are going to remain the same. We're going to be an aggressive, fast, downhill team. And we're going to have a defensive mindset. And we're going to try and win. Every day, every time we look up the scoreboard, we say 0-0, and we got to win this next play. And that's a Bart Lundy philosophy, and we're going to stay with it. But I've been so fortunate that the players, I believe in the players, they believe in me. The administration was amazing throughout the process, and their belief in me, and we're excited to put this partnership together and see where we go forward next.
And Coach, give us a little bit of your background, where you got started from, where you're from, and just want to hear about that.
I'm a Midwest boy.
You got both Midwestern kind of.
Yeah.
How about that? Okay.
Born in Chicago, but grew up primarily in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I'm a Packer fan and a Brewer fan. But now that I've lived in Charlotte,
not a Bucks fan. You didn't mention
the
Bucks.
I am Bucks. No, for sure the Bucks. But being in Charlotte 10 years now, Charlotte's home, and got season tickets to the Panthers, and I try and make it over to Hornets games whenever I can. It's important because Charlotte is an amazing place to live. But I've lived all over. I went to school in Iowa. And then I've worked in Maryland, Texas, Florida, Georgia, now North Carolina. And this has been my longest stint. I hope to be here a long time.
You know, somebody mentioned the other day, I think it was Langston Wirtz, sports writer here, and we were talking, and he was talking about how the level of football has gotten better as far as high school is concerned, because a lot of the Panthers players stay here and they become coaches now. And I saw where Luke Kuechly and Greg Olson are both coaching the Little League now, and the kids come up. Is that an advantage for you in a city that has an NBA team to be able to go and watch the Hornets and be able to pull some of the things that they do and you see some of the other teams do?
Absolutely. I think, Charlotte is one of the fastest growing cities in America. Having the Hornets here right down the road, we're a mile and a half from where the Hornets practice and play. It's a huge advantage. North Carolina is the hoop state. And I think this next year, 11 of our 15 players will be from North Carolina. So it's a huge advantage for us, homegrown players that are proud to wear Queens on the front of their jersey.
How is the recruiting process going with everything that's going on from name, image, likeness, all that kind of stuff? It may not affect you now. I don't know if it does, but that's just so rampant. Are you guys, as an athletic director, how do you feel about it? I know Judy Rose from the Charlotte 49ers was very opposed to the whole issue and thought it was going to cause some problems. Do you feel the same way, or?
Well, I think it's here, right? So we have to adjust and we have to adapt and we have to find where we can make a difference and create a great student-athlete experience. And that's really what we're focused on. Where can we manage the name, image, and likeness and create, a great opportunity for a student-athlete to utilize that. But it's definitely here to stay. So.
Yeah. Coach, your team. Kenny mentioned a little bit about your team, and you could tell he got excited. When you talk about your teammates, you start to get excited, right? As a coach, you get excited, too, about your players. Is this a championship team? I mean, can this team go and win this conference? He said you're ranked 14th out of 14 teams. Disrespectful. How do you use that as a tool?
Absolutely, it's healthy motivation. We have 9 of our top 10 players from a 30-win team coming back. We scrimmaged a couple of Division I schools last year. They're private. Those went very well for us. We've been in that space before. We played at VCU a few years ago. They went to the national tournament, won a game that year, and we beat them in an exhibition game. A few years ago, we were at the Paradise Jam. We lost to George Mason on a buzzer beater, basically. Beat Howard pretty handily. And then nationally ranked Belmont, we hung with and lost by a handful of points. We firmly believe we're going to have a lot of success at that level. We don't think any other way. We have a championship mindset. Our goal is to win the next game and then overall to cut down the next net. So our next opportunity to cut down on that is the regular season championship, and that's what we're shooting for.
All right. Cherie, this institution, as you move forward, it's getting better, but you talk about community. Obviously, we talked about the grade point average of your school, but you guys do a lot in the community as well. I know you've been a leader in that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We take a lot of pride in it, certainly, not only in our own Queens community, but in the Charlotte community. This year, it was a real focus for us, especially coming out of COVID, and we ended up being 25th in the country. Overall in terms of our community engagement hours, but it's something that
I didn't even know you gauge that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something that you actually look at through all the different universities, or?
Yes, absolutely. And we track every hour that we engage in the community, and each program does that. And everybody has a little bit something different that they engage in. Men's basketball has their priorities in that realm, but it's definitely one of our pillars that we take a lot of pride in, because we are a big part of this community. We want to become a bigger part of this community, and it's our efforts. Our efforts are to give back in any which way that we can.
Yeah, and I want to say something. I may be speaking out of turn here. My producer, Angie Robbins, got a call from, I'm just going to say, one of the young ladies that was on our swimming segment. Because I told her, I said, if she wants to get into film producing and things, I said, you got to talk to Angie Robbins, and she did. She called her up and they had lunch. And you talked about how important the community is back to the university.
Oh, it's a bit what Grant said. It's an outstanding community. This city is absolutely remarkable. It helps us differentiate our student athlete and student experience. Our connections, our partnerships in this city are what help amplify our student experience, because if they take advantage of it, like that young lady did from our swim program, the opportunities are endless. And so it's our goal and our desire to continue to position our students and our student athletes for those types of connections that make a meaningful impact in their lives while they're at Queens, but even beyond. So, yeah, the partnerships in Charlotte are just, they really set us apart.
Anything else you guys want to add about the team as you move forward, or and anything else you want to say?
First of all, we're looking forward to the community. This will be the first year that we don't have some restrictions ticket-wise for the community coming back out, supporting our guys. They'll love to see our product. We play very fast, fun style of basketball, so we'd love to host you and anyone else from the Charlotte community come see us play.
All right, guys. Well, we certainly appreciated you guys being here today to talk about Queens University and moving from Division II to Division I. We wish you all the best of luck. And you got to check out, I'm going to come see Kenny Dive for 3, right? Thank you guys so much, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Delano.
That's all the time we have for the Delano Little Show on thehecklesports.com. We hope to see you next time.